Oh man. Everything's looking the same. Everything's looking the frickin' same. Ugh. Okay, this can happen to anybody. As you can see, it's starting, the sun's right over that way. I've got about an hour before dark, wandering along, looking through game trails and such. And I was on a pretty, prominent game trail, but it crossed over somewhere or something, and now it's game trails everywhere. I have no clue where I'm at right now. Sun's going down, and it's going to get below freezing. I've got to find a place to set up my camp. I've got my kit right here, personal survival kit, and I've got to break out that shelter and see how it works. I'm going to turn you off. I've got to find a shelter. I got to find a location right now. Okay, I found a shelter location. Right here, it's higher up, elevated here. I can put a fire down here. There's two trees about 8-9 feet apart. That'll do, and then I can bring it back that way. This one's not going to be in my way. I can put a fire pit there, and the heat's going to radiate up in. There are no little pebbles here, and what I've got is a double space blanket. So I'm a little excited here. In this kit, and I've got to make a shelter with this. It's reflective, which it'll keep me warm, and well, it's not going to rain, but it's going to keep me warm, and plus what it will do is keep the wind off of me as well, especially with the fire. So I've just got one of these double emergency blankets, and I've got a bunch of twine here. That should be what I need. Okay, what I've got to do right now, I can cut up little sticks, use those for the corners and such, or I can find some spruce cones. That's probably the fastest way to do this, is find spruce cones. So I'm going to find some spruce cones real quick. I am not actually lost out here. I just wanted to show you a scenario. The sun is setting. I'm actually out here to see how I can set up this shelter within my kit. It's the only part of my kit that I have not used many times before. So I want to see just how tough this stuff is, because I am depending on it. And I bought this out of watching reviews and such, and others' opinions on these. They're tougher than a normal Mylar. So I have to test this if I'm going to, carry it and make sure that it's good, might be a lifesaver. I have to test it. So I've got some spruce cones here. I'll bring them up right there. And we're going to try to construct this. I just wanted to show you how easily it can happen and how panicked you can be. This could happen to anybody. Anyhow, we're going to start throwing this up. Okay, I'm going to put these right in my pocket so I don't lose them. I have not tried this yet because I didn't want to take it out of this bag. Because you know yourself, usually when you take a space blanket out of a bag, you never get it back in. Now I have tested this by pulling on it, and it does seem pretty tough that it will stretch instead of tear. But I've never actually tried it, so that's what we're going to do right now. This one is a 8-foot by 5-foot sheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take one of these cones, spruce cones. Take a small piece of string here. Need my knife, which normally I would carry a knife anyhow on my belt if I'm going to the bush, but I figure I'll just use the knife in the kit, just in case I didn't have anything else. So what I want to do is cut a piece of this line off, this twine. That in my pocket. I'll close this up so I don't cut myself. I'll just shove that in my pocket too. I'm going to tie one little knot in the end, and then put a slip knot. Now I've got that gathered inside, and I'm going to take my slip knot, put it right in underneath the pine cone, or spruce cone. I'll show you. Goes right in underneath like that there in the corner. Now what I'm going to do is type this tree over here. I'll put it fairly low so all the heat will come from there and it'll catch the heat pretty easy. There we go. Now all I've got to do is find the opposite side. I'll move my stick out of the way. Okay, right there like that. Now, I'm going to cut another piece of string here. I've tied this to the tree. I'm going to bring this out, grab the other end, and find out where I've got to cut this off at. Right there should be good. And so I don't lose it, I'll put it right back in my pocket. Grab another acorn, or you can use acorns, but this here is a spruce cone. So you can get just worked up just by you know, trying to beat the clock kind of thing itself. Okay, I'm gonna put that right there. And just wrap that around a few times in underneath and tie it off. There we go. Move some of this stuff out of the way. Got some of these sticks here that I can use as some tent stakes. Just broke these off, that's all I'll need. I can sharpen those up, and I'll put another spruce cone in each one of the corners. But this is taking no time to throw up, really. Now all I have to do here, make that somewhat sharp so it'll stick in the ground. So it gives me an anchor point. Normally you would not put the direction of the wind is coming right this way. I'm kind of doing that for a purpose here. I'm kind of testing the strength at the same time with the wind blowing directly on it. So that's why I'm doing that. Otherwise, you can get a lot of smoke in your shelter if it's blowing directly in on you. And plus, you're not blocking the wind. So just for demonstration sakes, I'm doing it this way. Okay, now I have to do, stab this in the ground, like that, and tie this to it. There we go. Now, go to the other side. Well, there you have it. It's all up. Now this is, like I said, 8 feet by 5 feet. So this actually gives me enough room. If they're any smaller, I could not lay out in it. I'm 6 foot. And used to be 6'1". I think I might have shrunk. Age and all. But you can see, I don't have much more room. I need at least 8 feet. And now, if I had a fire here, that would reflect off. I think this will do me good. I really do. The fun part is to see if I can get this back into that little bag. But, it's pretty rugged. Now, I could reinforce it. I could put a wood pole across there, another wood pole up like this, and on both ends, just to, you know, if the wind's blowing on it, is taking some of the pressure off the tie-out points. Anyhow, I'm going to tear that down and try to put that back into the pouch. I've just folded this up into that small. It may actually fit. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet, but we'll see. It none of the corners we had no problems with. So that's a good thing. Seems it's waterproof, windproof, heat reflective. Wow. Like I said, I have not tried this because I was worried about getting it back in to this pouch. And I was able to do so. I'm very happy with that, I'll tell you. Now, put it back in here. Looks about the same size and such. Should fit right back in there, no problem. It has to go in first, so I've got to take everything else out. So we'll stick that down in there. Put the Sawyer Mini back in there. Of course, this is a lot easier to do when you're, you know, kneeled down and on the ground and such, and trying to do it up here so you can see. First aid in there. Lighter. Now just a paracord, and then zip it back up. So I wanted to test this blanket just to see if it's going to be strong enough for what I want. And I mean, it was rubbing against sticks and stuff. It didn't get a hole. It seems pretty tough. I mean, it's a space blanket. None of them are tough, you know, per se, that I've seen. But, well, it's in there. Good deal. But it should do what I need it to do. And that's why I wanted to test that. I've used everything else. I could actually just make somewhat of a frame shelter and throw this inside. So it would keep like I said, it's not going to take a whole lot of wind on it and such that can possibly tear it. So there's many ways I can get around, you know, if it's a little weak by stretching and so on from wind and such. There's ways I can get around that. So it's good to know that it will hold up if need be. There's a breeze coming up through there, as you've seen. It's bowing it right out and so on. So I'm pretty happy with it. And the reflective and signaling on this is a bonus. Anyhow, hope you like this video, and thanks for coming along. Take care.